What up, guys? We are live in another Podpah. This is amazing Friday. Me, Chico.
DDJI. Thank God it's Friday. I'm a bit
Are you
nervous, eh?
nervous?
Second foreigner we have on our podcast, but this guy is amazing, and I'm really stoked to have him.
Oh my God, I would kiss him if he let me. Yeah.
I don't think he would like that, though, eh? First of all, call out
Oh
his
my
name.
God, I've been training his name. Do you believe it?
You have to
There's
put your
this
tongue between your
tongue
teeth.
in the middle of the teeth, you know? Okay, so now I want a round of applause from him, directly from Australia.
Ladies and
He
gentlemen.
killed half of the world. I just watched his movie yesterday. Thank you, Netflix, for letting us watch it.
Don't give this man a knife.
Yeah, he and a knife and a bottle of water. Nah, he goes to the moon. So now a warm round of applause. He's an international guest, Chris HEMSWORTH.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Are you
How you doing,
okay,
man?
man?
Doing well, thank you. Yeah, this is the last stop on our world tour for Extraction 2, and it's wonderful to be here. My first time in Brazil, and it's fantastic. So thank you for having us.
Dude, let me just explain how the podcast works. Podpah is the name of the podcast. It's the largest one in Brazil. And as you can see, we don't have such major
International.
celebrities like you on our show. So this is a challenge to us. Our audience was really excited to see how this conversation was going to play out. So I'd just like to start off saying how important it is that you have come to our show, you know, because of everything that we aim to achieve and dream to achieve. So you're a very, very important guest. Thank you for being here.
thank you.
Holy
No,
shit. No,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, that's true. That's
Thank
true.
you for having me. I mean, I've heard how many people you have following the podcast, and it's the biggest podcast, so it's an honor to be here, and appreciate you inviting me.
Well, now we're talking about good things. I must give you my gifts.
You don't want to waste any time, right?
No, he's international. So this is my soccer team, Corinthians. We are twice world champion of the world soccer. So
Oh,
this
wow.
we have your name in the back. Do you like soccer, Fatbu?
Yeah, well, my kids play. I didn't play growing up in Australia. In Australia, we played rugby or Australian football, but my kids love soccer, football. So I appreciate this. They'll appreciate it. I'll wear it when they're playing.
In Brazil, the main sport is Brazilian football, soccer, right? Is
Yeah.
it rugby in Australia?
Yeah, rugby and Australian League football, which is different again to rugby. If you ever get a chance, check it out. It's called AFL. It's pretty exciting. It's kind of like rugby, but with the movement of, say, soccer or basketball. So you're allowed to tackle and a lot of bumps and hits, but the back and forth play is similar.
Holy shit, man. Must be rough, right? Okay, so first of all, I'd like to thank Netflix for making this happen.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Netflix.
Lydia. Kisses, I love you, you know it.
And this is a very important step to Netflix, right? Netflix said, hey, let's bring him to a podcast show.
Yeah, and I can't thank them enough. We watched the movie yesterday firsthand before everyone. So now it's on Netflix. It's available for everyone at home to watch it. Just watch it, man, because it's flawless. But one thing that really caught my eye, yes, a lot of action. So sequel plans, and there's a lot of the camera follows all the fights and all the troubles that you have. How hard it is to record this.
Well, the way that Sam Hargrave, who's our director, shoots is not the traditional way with 3 or 4 cameras where you have a lot of different cutting points. A lot of the film, and in particular the one, which is 22 minutes long, is it's a series of different shots stitched together to look like one seamless shot. And so you can't hide behind the editing and different camera angles and so on. It all has to be seamless. So it's exhausting. Long, continuous fight sequences, and we start in a prison yard, and there's 400 extras in that shot. I'm being lit on fire. There's things exploding. We then go into a car chase, and then we go to a train sequence where we have a helicopter land on top of the train. I'm on top of the train.
And you're shooting
at the-
the helicopter, right?
Yeah.
This one with the chopper.
Yeah.
Was it a real
This
shot?
is all real. This is all shot in camera. None of this is a green screen or anything. So none of that had been done before on screen. And like the reaction you're having now, it gave the audience something deeply spontaneous and full of adrenaline, and that's what we were going for. So
Wow, that scene with the chopper. I was just telling my mates here, you know, this scene, if that scene is not chroma key, if that's not CGI,
No green
this is
screen, right?
amazing, eh? And I have a question here, mate. so we were watching the movie and we were noticing some of the long shots, right, long takes. And in a movie like this, you're doing a long take, and there's a fight scene. When you make a mistake, do you have to go back all the way from the start?
Yeah.
Has that happened during the explosions and all?
That's the most challenging thing. Like traditionally, if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. You have other angles to cut to and edit points. Whereas, we would be in the sequence and there were 400 extras in the shot, and you could get 95% of the way through it. And if there's one mistake, you got to go back and start again. And so it's exhausting, it's challenging, the risk is higher, there's a lot more chance of, mistakes and injuries, but the reward is so much bigger. What you see on screen as we're discussing has a very different energy to your traditional way of shooting. So it was all worth it. All the injuries, the blood, sweat, tears, the exhaustion at the end of the day was something I'm proud of and glad we did it that way.
Oh my God!
How long did it take? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
No, please.
How long did it take to shoot it? The whole movie?
About that sequence was 29 days. The entire film, I think, was about 4 months. But then there was 6 to 12 months of preparation and rehearsal and planning going into it, particularly from Sam Hargrave, the director, and all the stunt team. I had probably 2 months of prep prior to the film. And then once we started shooting, it was just continually updating those steps. I think there were 6,000 moves of choreography that I had to learn through the film. It was like being a professional athlete more than an actor most of the time.
Oh my God, we were watching a little bit of your training. You do some boxing, you work out a lot. It must be tiring, a lot, exhausting. But what I want to know is how much of yourself is on your role, because I see there are fighters, soldiers, a lot of shots, and I see that you joke a lot. There is a little part of Chris, the character, right?
Yeah.
Is something that you want to happen?
For sure, yeah. Look, 95% of the stunts in this film I've done myself. I prefer to do as much as I can, but a lot of the time it's not necessary. And I'll be shooting one scene, and they'll do an action scene over here, and they'll put a stunt double in it. But the way we wanted this film to look and feel required me to be at the center of it. So it was the most immersive experience I've had, the most exhausted I've ever had. But as you say, a lot of it of yourself begins to come through whether you like it or not, and that's part of the joy, I think. It makes it more personal to you, makes it more connective to the audience as well.
And when you're making a movie like this, what's going on in your mind? When you're shooting a scene, do you feel like you're a killer? Do you feel like a soldier? Because you've killed so many people in this movie, right? I've never seen anyone kill so many people in one movie.
The kill count was up there for sure. It's just trying to stay alive is the main concern, just because, the insane sort of situations that we're all put in, myself and all the stunt performers was, I think it's about as far as you can take it. But look, you're exhausted most days, but the reward is so much higher, and there's a great collaboration between everyone you're working with. There's a real sense of achievement when you pull off one of these scenes, you complete one of these sequences. It's a big celebration, and I love that. It is like you're one big family unit in a film set, but often it's you're all in different directions and doing different things. This was sort of all of us, once we started to the end was one big commitment.
Dude, seriously, actors is something that I really praise, because this is a beautiful art. You really deliver. You change your personality many times. But I would go crazy if I was at home. I was Tyler, making a rescue, and I was like, okay, honey, did you hear that?
I would come
Where is my
with
gun?
my action figure and say, "Hello, kids. This is your daddy." Yeah.
It's
beautiful.
It's a cool action figure.
It's cool, huh?
And when Netflix invited you to play in this movie, how does that work? Do they have a ready script? Do you have a say in the script?
And what about the time, the moment of your life? How was it?
It was great. We had made the first film, and the character, if you've seen the first one, he was done and dusted and riddled with bullets. He looked like a piece of Swiss cheese at the end of the film and was dead. The network at Netflix
was brought back to life.
Brought back to life. It said resurrect him, because the network were really excited about what they were seeing. but also there was a fan response when the film came out that was huge. The film was the biggest film on Netflix at the time, and then so it was our duty to come back and tell the story again in a deeper way, in a larger way, elevate the action, but integrate more emotion in the film. And that was what was really satisfying, was being able to dive into the character's backstory. It wasn't a two-dimensional individual. There were layers to who he was. There was shame and guilt and a tortured soul underneath, and we got to discover why that was the case in this in more depth. And I think it resonates with an audience then. You know, you could have action which is as big and spectacular as you want, but if you don't connect personally with the character or empathize with them, and you don't emotionally understand where they're coming from, it just ends up being noise. So the integration of the emotion and the action was really important in this film, and we've had such great feedback that's what has resonated with an audience.
Dude, seriously, this is amazing, because I can only imagine how challenging this was, because after the first movie was amazing, and now with the second, I really think that the second one is better. Not to compare them, but when you see like how was it correctly filmed and rehearsed, how big it is, you know, and how hard this is to really join a franchise, because want it or not, we are public persons, so like we think.
No spoilers, but do you have a third sequel coming up?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but like they are doing the third movie, the second movie, just to make money, because of course this is important, or they are doing this to build the story, you know. And I think that they are doing this. It's not just a story like something that they throw out there.
Well,
you know?
I think that they go hand in hand. You know, I think it only makes money and only has an audience if you're connecting a deeper story. And there is a lot of attempts at franchises out there. A lot of the IP that we see is, you know, either superhero-driven or pre-existing franchises being remade. And so to have something that's an original idea like this was really important to us, and just so thankful to the fans that showed up for the first film and were supportive of us doing a second one. And if this film has the same impact that the first one did, then it'd be great to carry on another film and continue the franchise, and again have something that's that's standalone, unique, original story, as opposed to coming from something that we've seen before.
That's cool. Chris, just talking a little bit about Brazil.
Fans here are crazy.
And Brazilians love you, right?
Oh, thank you. I love them.
When you first decided you'd like to become an actor, because I mean, in Brazil it's not common for us to have drama classes at school, you know, in Brazil. Something that will allow people to let their artistic side flourish, right? So it's hard, people have to, sort of dig in to find it. At school in Australia, did you have drama classes, or do you see this in Australia in general, music classes and drama classes?
Did they help you to join this art?
There's, look, there was drama classes, music class at school. It's not one of the main spaces, I think, that is traditionally committed to by students. Not many people I knew were actors or even wanted to be. My brother had done an acting course outside of school, which I had done when I was finishing, and my passion for it really came from, I loved watching movies, as an audience member and a fan of storytelling in general.
What'd you like seeing as a kid?
Yeah, I look at like the Labyrinth, Princess Bride, Never-Ending Story, big fantasy films, and then a lot of the 80s action films, Schwarzenegger and, Rambo and Van Damme. And so, I'd watch those films and go out in the backyard and recreate those situations with my brothers. And then when I decided to get into acting, it was more due to the fantasy of it and the adventure that it was going to take me on, more than the artistic expression that I think it became later on in my career. Like, I love it now. It is a true outlet for me, and gives me something that I can't, find or fulfill anywhere else. But the adventure of it and the travel and the people I get to meet and the fantasy of it all is what initially inspired me and still does.
This is amazing to hear, because what I want to know is how are your challenges in life? Because you've done a major work, a major role, Thor, and people in Brazil, they're crazy about the Marvel Universe and superhero movies. You can see behind you, we are also crazy about it. But when you do something that big and you are such a good actor and you can't limit yourself just to Thor, how is in your head the challenge of like, okay, Thor is a major role, but Chris is still here. I need to go on. I need to do things.
Yeah. Look, it's, I remember when I first did the first Thor film, everything I got sent then from a script point of view was pretty similar and was derivative of that character or that world. So I had to work hard to do other films and make choices outside of that, some of which resonated with an audience, some of which didn't. And that's the key, is about trying to find the balance between what's going to service my creative interest, but also is going to appeal to my particular audience. And as I said, what was exciting about this, because it was a standalone new franchise, but you're always looking for opportunities to work with different people that bring different things out in you, and not be pigeonholed and put in one particular box. But that's not to say anything against Thor either, because that has opened up my entire career and has been the best experience I've ever had. And whether that continues on or not, who knows? The possibilities are all sort of in the air at the moment. But I'm just incredibly thankful for it. And, as where I grew up in Australia, as I said before, no one was going to Hollywood. It was a sort of pretty insane dream to have. And so to be sitting here, even talking to you guys at this point of my career is just, it's all a dream and something I'm full of gratitude for.
Did you hear that?
How long have you been in Brazil now?
3 days. Yeah.
Did you have any chance to see anything, or just working your ass off?
I've seen the inside of this studio and the inside of the hotel I'm at, working my ass off. I was texting with, Idolo Ferreira, the surfer, the pro surfer from Brazil. He was texting me trying to set up a session to go to the wave pool that's close by and surf.
There's an amazing wave pool around, like 1 hour from here.
He was trying to organise it, and unfortunately I just didn't have the time. But when I come back next time, I'm going to schedule it in.
Medina is also a great partner. Pedro Scooby,
Yeah,
Giant Waves. Do you like Giant
I
Waves?
met Pedro Scooby this morning. Yeah, I did an interview with him this morning, and he's fantastic. And Gabriel Medina and Felipe Toledo, you guys have some of the best surfers in the world, or I think the best surfers in the world at the moment. So the Australians are trying to play catch up.
Do you play any other sports? When you surf, what else do you do?
I grew up surfing a lot, playing Australian football. I did a lot of Muay Thai and a lot of boxing, and it really goes hand in hand with this type of film. But surfing is the main thing that keeps my focus, my attention. It's the thing I enjoy the most as well. Do you guys surf?
No. Look.
I tried. Bodyboard, I tried.
Bodyboard.
The one that you sort of lie on your chest?
Yeah.
I thought it was nice. But I gave up. Another question now, just, taking advantage you're here with us. Do you have any dreams? I mean, we see you flying around, exploding things and throwing your hammer. And do you have, and if you've done it, I'm sorry, but do you feel like, or do you dream of doing any other roles where it's like a very sad movie, like a drama, or you're very skinny, like for a role, you have to lose a lot of weight. Do you feel like doing this type of stuff?
I've lost a lot of weight for films earlier in my career, and it was torturous, but it was what the character required. At this point, I'd love to do a drama. I'd love to do something smaller at times that didn't have as many action scenes and special effects and so on. As fun as that is, it's nice to just challenge yourself in different ways. I really love comedy, and I've done smaller pieces of comedy or had comedic elements within the Marvel world, but I'd like to do more of it. I find it the most challenging. I find it's the hardest thing to be in the moment and spontaneous and creative in a comedic setting. But it's just a hell of a lot of fun. The days or films that I've been on that were comedies, you just spend the whole time laughing and everyone's having a good time. And so there's something incredibly healthy and cathartic about that experience that I'd like to do more of.
Chris, when you were recording Thor, sometimes did you look, because, for example, your recordings go viral behind a green screen, in front of a green screen, and you're kind of playing and acting and like, oh my God, they are so amazing because there's nothing there. And when sometimes you go back to your backstage and you're wearing a cape and you're saying like, oh my God, I'm a superhero.
I think most of the time you're trying to convince yourself you're that character, you know, all the time. What am I talking about? I don't ever feel like a superhero. I mean, you certainly, once you put the cape on and the costume and all of that, and you have the weapons and the sets are there, you begin to feel more and more like it. But that's part of the challenge, is trying to get into that mind state. And you know, most of the time the little voice inside you's going, nah, you're not this thing, you know. So there's the competing voice of one of confidence and support and the other one of criticism.
Do you feel that as well? Like someone telling, no, you're not Thor, get out of here.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's human nature, unless you're sort of, I don't know, completely void of any of that kind of thinking and self, let me say criticism, but you've got to be able to look at both sides of the things you're good at, your strengths and your weaknesses, in order to grow in any way. I think it also keeps you humble. I think the fear at times is a really good motivator. It'll make me prep harder and harder and harder. If I walk onto a set or any situation,
I was like this today,
and I feel underprepared, the next time I go, all right, how can I lessen that emotion? And so you work harder. So for me, it just drives me to commit more to whatever it is I'm doing. But again, I think it's important to stay humble and open and not think you have all the answers, you know, to continue to learn.
Amazing. Amazing.
At what moment in your career, and I'm sorry, I'm asking about Thor again because Brazilians love Thor and they want to know about it. But at what point of your career were you when you were invited to play Thor? Did you look at that role and say, oh, amazing? Because you said when you were a kid, you and your brothers used to, play scenes and you wanted to live there. And when you got that invitation to actually play a superhero, how did you feel? And then this amazing level of success.
Yeah, so when I first auditioned for the character, I basically was told that, nope, you didn't get the part, and that was it. My younger brother auditioned for it and got really close. He then, I think down to the last 5 people, he then didn't get it, and then so they opened up the casting again. I got a second opportunity, came in, got the part, and I didn't even know what it was at the time. You know, I was thankful to have a job at all, just to be employed. I signed a 6-picture contract, so you know I was going to be doing multiple Thor films and then Avengers films, but no one had made an Avengers film yet, and Iron Man had only come out. No one had seen Captain America. You know, there was the Hulk, but all of these individual films had to work in order for us to make another standalone film or to make an Avengers film. So I think the size of the experience and the success grew once we had made them, and for all of us, we realized, wow, this is something big, but we didn't know at the start.
So you were just hoping that every movie would be a major success, right? Because I hope the Hulk movie would be great because then I got a job last year, right?
Absolutely.
We know that multiverse exists. They defeated Thanos, okay, but would you defeat this Thanos, the one on the left?
I don't know. It looks pretty.
Now this is CGI, Chris.
Yeah, that's real special effects. That's a big budget film right there.
This was me. That's
awesome.
This was cheap ink. I'm sorry.
That's fantastic.
Okay. So you can form your opinion. Mjolnir or the axe? Tell us now.
Oh, I think the axe. I think Stormbreaker. Yeah. I love Mjolnir, but it's been stolen from me by a few different characters, so they can have it. Jane took it. Who else? Captain America took it. Who's someone?
Were you pissed when Captain America could
Absolutely
steal Mjolnir? I would be pissed.
Not
man.
Thor. Chris was pissed. I was like, what?
You motherfucker.
Yeah,
And
wasn't
the
happy.
movies, when he caught Mjolnir, everyone was like, holy shit. Can you imagine Chris looking at him? No, not that guy. Not that guy.
The one that was
not
going
him.
to save everything.
Yeah.
You really forged friendships, right, with the Avengers team, didn't you? Like, on a personal level. Are they personal friends now?
Yeah. I mean, that whole experience, as I was saying before, all of us were sort of yeah, we're coming up in our career, and some people have been given a second chance at their career, and so we're all at very unique positions, and then for this to blow up beyond anyone's expectation, to be the biggest franchise ever in the history of cinema, none of us could have dreamed that was going to happen. And then we went through years of making these films. I think it was a 10, 11-year period, and it was like going through high school again. So we were incredibly tight and very close. And then at the end of it, I remember on the Avengers press tour at the last stop, all sort of shaking hands and saying goodbye, wondering were we ever going to see each other again? Were we ever going to be in a room together like this again? And so
It's just like high school.
it's like high school, mate.
Hi, buddies. I'm so nervous. I'm sorry.
Take it easy, baby. Because, Chris, I know you like to eat, so we prepared something. Have you ever had açaí before, the Brazilian açaí?
I have, but not here in Brazil. So this is the real thing, yeah?
So bring the
But the
açaí.
Australian version, which probably isn't
Yeah,
as good.
we've prepared it.
You gotta be honest with us, though. Eh? If you don't like it, let us know.
Okay, give it this one to him. Yeah, oh, no, you can choose. Yeah, you can choose.
Probably out of both. You have one.
Because this one is a little bit meltier, but yeah,
yeah.
it's a little bit melted.
Yeah.
See if you like it.
Do you guys
I
like
love
this?
it.
I love it. I do love it. Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it back in Australia too. But this is better. Oh, wow. Thank you.
What else do you got here? Something from Australia? What is it? Vegemite? What is it?
Oh, wow. This is going to be really...
Like that dark paste?
This is,
So good, so tasty.
I don't think you're going to enjoy Vegemite as much as I'm enjoying this.
Why not?
Teach us how to eat it. Is there any process to it?
You need some butter. Do you have any butter?
Please, feel at home.
There's no
Is there any
butter?
butter? Any margarine? No?
Okay,
Oh, no,
look.
let's do it like this, yeah. Yeah, I want. Yeah, okay, they're gonna take the butter.
Yeah, you've got to have butter. That's pretty...
But explain, what is it, please?
I think it's yeast. I don't know.
Is it a paste? Is it a cream?
You know what it tastes like? It's kind of like it's very salty beef kind of a flavour. It's very savoury. So you can put it with bread, butter, cheese. So, you know, this will be nice. This is your sweet and your sour. This is your dinner. Here's your dessert. But we grow up on this. Most people...
And everybody likes that in Australia, do they?
Yeah, 95% of Australians, but 95% of people who aren't from Australia hate it. So we'll see here. I love it.
I'm eager to try it.
Yeah, no, you
bring
can
it to
bring
us.
it. Bring it, yeah. That's it. Give it to me.
Let me make you one of these.
Some butter.
We like eating, don't we?
This is what we grow up on.
little
This is
bit.
kind of a staple diet for Australian kids. All right.
Oh, okay, so it's just butter for us, like...
Yeah. It's good
I'm
when
gonna
it-
eat it, yeah.
It's good when it's hot.
It
But
looks
we'll eat it like this.
tasty, though.
Okay, and there's one. Get you both one each. And two.
He is spreading Vegemite on bread for us. Oh my
I miss
god.
my mom, just like he
right.
used to do it.
Yeah, this would be.
He's making us a toast.
Have you guys? You've never been to
You're
Australia?
so nice, Chris, really.
And you're so handsome. Oh my god.
We've never been there. Alex, our director, he lived there for 7 years, and he says that he's saving some money to go back there.
I won't be offended if you spit it out. Okay. Not many people like it.
Come on. Give it a bite.
I liked it.
You like it? Yeah.
I like so much.
Oh, perfect.
It tastes like
I love it.
like a beef chip, something like that. It's really
But
nice,
it's strong, like
It's
a-
strong.
but it's nice,
Good,
right?
There you go. Thank you. That went well. I'm glad.
Holy
I'm glad.
shit.
I'm gonna
Chris,
take more
prepare
of
me
this.
some bread. Chris, please. Feel at home, you can eat the açaí. But what Michiko said at the beginning, it's really true here. For us here, this is a major opportunity for us, so we can talk to artists that are bigger, they create more impact for us and for you as well. And I really hope that this chat was important for you as well, for your career, for the movie, for Netflix. So I'd like to thank them all. I know that you are in such a rush today. You came from Australia all the way here, and I know that you're eager to know everything, to know how it is. When we travel on for work, we are like that as well. And I'd just like to thank you for this time that you spared for us, for being such a nice guy, because we're not used to this. We did a whole apparatus here just to receive you, and thank you so much. And this is delicious.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me. This is a wonderful opportunity for me as well, and great to meet you guys, and great to talk with the Brazilian fans, and next time I'm staying for longer. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And you should watch Extraction 2. It's available on Netflix.
Fucking amazing.
And I'm going to eat my toast. And this was quicker because he's got 665 interviews today.
Exactly. And he's going to kill somebody else today. Yeah, he's killing everybody.
Watch this movie. It's a lot of, knife to thighs. If he saw a thigh, he was going to, stick a knife in it.
Okay, last question. Extraction 3. We are almost dying. We are there in the movie, both of us, but you can only save one. Because he's going to see us and going to analyze who's going to be the hardest to save,
Well, Idris Elba, if we do a third one, will be in that film. So he can save one of you, I can save one of you. Who that's going to be, you can't make me choose. Because I choose them between my two best friends and my two parents, Both of you, I'd figure it out somehow.
Or maybe we hug each other and die together.
He said that we're just like his parents. We're blonde, come on. Okay, like us, follow our channel, subscribe, follow Chris in all of his network.
Hope you've enjoyed it.
Just send us love. Just send him love as well, because he was amazing today. So like, subscribe, right, Mirico?
Please subscribe. We're going to get to 7 million subscribers, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. That was great. That was great. Thank you. You like the bread? The Vegemite? It's good, huh? Yeah, good.
Mano, é muito gostoso.
Eu
gostei, come.
It's good.
Outside everybody was saying, this is horrible, this is terrific. Mano, é muito salgado.
Yeah, most people don't like it. Most people don't like it. Good.
Would you mind to sign?
Yeah, cool.